Hey there, this is Jade here, and I am here to do a reading for SS on one of the Facebook groups, and we are doing Elemental Dignities today. So this spread that we're doing is called the New Year Intentions by elementalchanges.co.uk. So there are 7 questions, almost a Celtic cross, not quite. I'm hoping that I'm going to have enough room on here, so we may have to make these cards look a little bit different than they would otherwise, but in any case. So we've got 7 cards. I've already shuffled these, so I just need to lay them out. So the first card is the Seed. So what is your intention? And we've got the 3 of matches. So sorry, I didn't say this. This, if you don't recognize this deck, this is the 5 Cent Tarot by Madame Clara. I almost said Madame Clara Sees All, but I don't have that deck. Okay, so card 1 is the 3 of matches, which would be the 3 of wands, and that is the seed for the intention. Card 2 crosses card 1, and it is the weeds. So the fears, it represents the fears that are blocking your growth. Okay. Card 3, actually I have to move these a little bit. Let's see if I can just make this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so card 3 is planting. So where should you dig deep to overcome your fears? And this is the High Priestess card. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to try to fit. Let's see if this actually... No, that's as far as I can go. Sorry. Okay. That's 3. Card 4 is down here. It is germination. So what is currently nurturing and growing below the surface, waiting for the first shoots to emerge? And you can't see it. That is the 10 of Needles. Card 5. Just going to move this down here. Card 5 is the roots. So how can you create strong foundations for your intention to build on? And this is the 10 of Buttons. So 10 of Needles would be 10 of Swords. 10 of Buttons would be 10 of Pentacles or coins. Where are we? Card 6 is shoots. So how to best nurture your intention to ensure healthy growth, and that is the Temperance card. Let me do this maybe. Okay, and then finally card 7 is full bloom. So what can you expect when this intention comes to fruition? And that is the 5 of Buttons. I'm going to put these cards over to the side. Okay, so, and we'll see how this goes and whether I need to pull another card or not. But if we start, so if we go back to cards 1 and 2, so card 1 was the seed. So what is your intention? And then card 2 is, what are you afraid of that is blocking your growth? What fears do you have that are actually blocking your intention and your growth for the year? Okay. So your intention for 2020. So 3 of matches, and so the 3 of wands or the 3 of matches for me often means, oh, I just noticed that's an actual, that is a fly. So it was one of those things where you, I don't know if you've ever had this, but you're looking at an image and you don't quite see what it is until you kind of zoom out a little bit, and that's what just happened to me. All right, sorry. Back to your reading. okay, so 3 of matches or 3 of wands, 3 of fire. So it's the fire element, which is that creativity, that planning. Um, for me, this and actually not just the planning, but then the first step, right? The initial step. So in terms of intention, it sounds to me like you have a plan in place and your intention is to actually put something into motion. So because it's the fire element, I would say that it's something that is related to either your work or some creative endeavor. So I don't know whether you have, I don't know, maybe it's you've been thinking about and planning having a YouTube channel or something, and it's your intention to actually put that into the works this year, or you have plans for a new business and your intention is to actually implement that this year. I'm really sorry, by the way, if you can hear my son screaming on the PlayStation. He's in a tournament, and I've asked him to stop a million times, but he gets very excited. So I apologize for that. So yeah, so is there something in your life that you have an intention to actually start? Something that's either on the creative side of things, you have a business, an Etsy business, or YouTube, or something related to maybe even tarot. It's kind of both, and or something related to work. Okay, so that is the intention that you have. Let me move these guys out of the way. Okay. And what fears do you have that are actually blocking your growth? And this card is the Three of Cups. It's really interesting actually, because I just noticed you have 2 3s and you have 2 10s here, which is kind of cool. Anyway, so what are you afraid of? So the Three of Cups is usually in the upright position anyways, although I guess we can't really tell since it is a crossing. But Three of Cups usually has to do with friendships, with celebrating friendships, with collaborating with people, with enjoying friends' company and their successes. But it can also be, on the more negative side, which is sort of gossip or loss of independence, maybe sort of losing yourself in that collective as opposed to, just going along with the flow, which sometimes might not be in your best interest. Maybe you don't want to cause some arguments or something. So I don't know if whatever you've got on the intention side here, maybe you're afraid that you don't have the support of family, friends, loved ones. Maybe you're afraid that people may laugh at you. Maybe you're afraid that people might think ill of you for whatever it is. I don't know, and especially, in the tarot business, if your intention is to start a tarot business, and that's not something that any of your friends or family do or really understand and don't support, then I can see that, that might be a real concern here. But again, at this point, this is just your fears, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually what's going to happen. So we'll see how things go. All right, so that's card 2. Card 3 is the High Priestess, and the High Priestess represents where you can dig deep to overcome the fears over here. And so far, this seems to be tying. I mean, I hope it's resonating with you so far, but to me, it seems to be tying in really well, because the High Priestess is all about listening to your inner wisdom, right? You have the book, you have the learning, you know what you're doing, you know what you need to do and how to get the answers. And you don't need to lean on other people right now in terms of knowledge or technical know-how. What you need to do is listen to yourself. Don't listen to any naysayers. Listen to yourself, to your to your intuition. Okay. So that is how, you really need to dig deep, and be confident in yourself and in your own skills and in your own will. And that's how you can overcome this. All right, so that's card 3. Card 4 was germination. That is nurturing and growth below the surface, waiting for the first shoots to emerge. Okay, so this is the 10 of Needles. So what I see here is that, with those shoots just wanting to emerge, just waiting to emerge, tells me that, the dormant period, the period of just laying low is over, right? It only needs your inner strength of will to just make what you want happen, and get those shoots growing, get those things moving, because whatever was holding you back, that really can't stop you anymore. That you've sort of, you've figured out who those people are that don't support you and can't support you for whatever reason, or who you can't trust, and that time is over. Now it's time to start growing. Card 5. I'm referring to I keep referring to my iPad there in the spread. So card 5 is roots. So how to create strong foundations for your intentions to build on. And this card is the 10 of buttons, which would be 10 of coins or 10 of pentacles. So how do you create strong foundations for your intention to build on? So perhaps there is something, that is available to you that you can lean on. I don't know if that's, some, I keep looking at inheritance here, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an inheritance. It could be just the really goodwill or support from a family or a friend, or family member or a good friend. So lean on them to supplement your, whenever your strength of will starts to flag, because sometimes it does, right? Despite our best intentions, if all we keep hearing is negative things or unsupportive things, sometimes we can start to slide back in our confidence. Our confidence can take a hit, and I think this is telling you that, when in those cases, it's really important to lean on the people that you can trust, and to just make sure take your time and do it right. Set the foundation. Really, how you make sure your research is all current and up to date, and make sure you're ready for this new chapter. All right, so that was 5, 6. So 6 is how to best nurture your intentions to ensure healthy growth. Okay, so how to best nurture your intention to ensure healthy growth. So again, your intention is to build something, create something, start a new, actually put that project into motion, whatever it is. And so how do you best nurture that intention to ensure a healthy growth? And this is telling you to I feel like it's kind of tying into the previous cards as well, where I think it's really telling you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself too, right? Your intention is really is important, and it's really important to you. It's important that you do it right, that you take the time, that you make sure your strength of will and you have your support around you. But even if you don't have support of other people around you, make sure that you do have some self-care. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you leave yourself some build yourself some contingency plans. Make sure that it's not just about the project. Make sure you make time for other things as well. Okay, so I think that is by doing that, taking things slow. Don't dive in to the deep end if you can't swim just yet, right? You have to build up, have patience, learn to swim, and then go into the deeper waters. And I think that's what this is saying. Okay, and then the final card is card 7. No, Caitlin, I'm on the phone. I said no, Caitlin, I'm on the phone. So card 7 is full bloom. So what you can expect when this intention comes to fruition. All right, so this card is the 5 of buttons. So when your intention comes to fruition, things are going to change. You had that previous, stability or stagnation. So things were fairly stable for better or worse. And now you're sending something into motion that's going to upset that stability. So, there's going to be change. There's going to be a time of adjustment. Doesn't mean anything bad. Doesn't mean anything good. It's just there's going to be some change. It could be some of both. But again, and you may worry. You may go back to these fears over here, but keep going, because change is good at the end of the day. Even though nobody likes it and we all struggle against it, but at the end of the day, what will happen will have a positive impact on your health, on your project, on your finances, all of that kind of stuff. I think it's just the material things. It's going to be, it's going to be good at the end of the day. It just isn't going to get there super fast, but there will be some. Sorry, I can't talk today. It won't be super fast, but have some patience. Take care of yourself, and things will change. Things will come to fruition. We will get to that end goal. Okay. So again, just a quick summary. Now that I've made a huge mess of the cards, but to me, what these cards said is that you right now you have some sort of plan that you are intending to set into motion, whether that's a new business, whether that's a new creative venture. And again, with the elemental dignity being fire, I think it has something to do with the creativity side, or with work, or with both, for that matter. You are your fear with respect to actually making this first step tends to be around the support. Do you have support around you? You're afraid that you don't have the support of the people in your life who perhaps you really respect and or love, and that's a fear that everybody would have. It's not necessarily reality, though. Okay. How you can dig deep, or where you can dig deep to overcome this fear, is really like it's all within your power. Again, this is just a fear. It's not necessarily reality, and you need to figure that out, right? And I think if you look within, think about the people that you're afraid aren't going to support you, and really go through it in depth. Like, does it make sense that this would be their reaction, or what would their reaction be? What would their support be? Even if they're not super crazy about whatever you're about to set into motion, that doesn't mean that they're going to block you, right? So listen to your inner self, to your subconscious, because you have the answers and you have the ability to overcome this fear. Okay. This is the only thing that's stopping your project from proceeding, because the next card is about what is nurturing and growing just below that surface, waiting for the first shoots to emerge, and that is the 10 of needles, or 10 of swords, which is air. So this is the logic, and I think you're really I think things are going to really shine for you. They're just you're kind of like the butterfly just about to emerge from the chrysalis. So that's it's really all all of that mental anxiety that you're carrying over here around these people, that will all go away and just blow away once you listen to yourself, listen to your inner voice, and let your project emerge, let your creativity and passions emerge. Okay. That was 4, 5. So how do you create this? How do you create strong foundations for your intention to build on? And that is, so if we're talking about elemental dignities, we're talking about the suit of earth, which has to do around health and physical and the material things in our lives, including finances. And this, so in terms of creating strong foundations, taking care of yourself, taking care of your needs, and not being afraid to lean on friends and family. If you're starting a business and you need some funds to get things started and going, don't be afraid to go ask. People can only say no, but do make sure that you take care of your physical and mental self as well. Card 6. Card 6 is how to best nurture your intention to get whatever it is started to ensure healthy growth. And again, this sort of ties in. For me, for some reason, these two cards, these are really tying in together. And again, this is telling me, don't be hyper focused on this to the exclusion of everything else. Make sure that you're taking the time, balancing whatever that endeavor is with your regular life, with, don't forget about your friends and family, and don't forget about your health, yourself, right? Do some self-care and build those skills. Sometimes it's really hard to wait for things. But it is really important to do it right, and that takes more than a little bit of patience. Okay, and then finally, what can you expect when this intention comes to fruition? So whatever endeavor you are planning to put out there into the world, to whatever endeavor you're planning on those first steps for, is going to cause change. It's going to change, whatever the status quo is right now in your life, with respect to that area, especially around, since we're talking about elemental dignities, we're back to the earth suit. It's going to change. Some things could change if the endeavor was work related, that could have a positive impact on your finances. If it is, although I suppose if you're starting a self-employed business, then your financial situation could change for the negative for a short while, because that's typically what happens with for the first couple of years with new companies, new self-employed companies. But with hard work, that does absolutely, typically get to the better. And in terms of your health, if it is something that you're starting that's on the creative side, that's for your health, then again, that's going to cause a change, and that could be for, hopefully is for the better. So I hope that this has resonated with you. I really I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback, good or bad. If it doesn't resonate, or if you have additional questions, let me know. I would, that's why we're here, is to learn. So I would really appreciate some detailed feedback. I really enjoyed doing this reading for you. I thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'd love to. I can't wait to hear back from you. Okay, bye bye.